Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with episode 4 of the exploits of Necrozma Garbodor. In this episode we'll be seeing a couple of matches against Gardevoir GX, and I really think that this matchup starts to show a lot about the deck, a lot about the different avenues that can come into play, and I think it's a really good. It's not like an auto win the way that Mega Rayquaza is, but I think it's just a really good matchup. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and dig into the first match. Okay, so common types to go along with the Fairy are indeed Water, Psychic, and a lot of fighting types. That's from the Gallade when people choose to play it, although there are some lists that are just going with the 4 of the Gardevoir GX instead. But definitely the Water from Octillery and or Vulpix. We get our ideal starter here with Tapu Koko, and we'll get one mulligan, so that's okay. Get a view of our opponent's deck. They're playing Fisherman as a supporter. That's kind of interesting because a lot of Gardevoir decks don't choose to play any kind of recovery. And we will go ahead, I think, and bench the Wobbuffet. He acts as a good backup attacker once we've spread some damage. So I know we talked about that in previous matches, but I just want to reiterate, like, that's a good thing. And then with the Ultra Ball, we will discard Lillie and our Garbotoxin. And we see that the second Garbotoxin is prized, along with one of our Kokos. And let's look at the rest of the prizes. Okay, so looks like maybe another Sycamore, DCE. We've got all of our Psychic energies. That's 3 prizes that I identified there. A Trubbish, 4th prize. So I got 4 of them. I think we might have been missing a switch card as well. We'll go ahead and play Lele, and since we have the Sycamore in hand, we will get Brigette now. And obviously, if we didn't have Sycamore, we would have gone ahead and kept Lillie. And with this, we'll get a Trubbish, another Koko, and a Necrozma. I think that's pretty good. Since we prized our Garbotoxin, Trubbish is going to be less useful in this matchup. And I choose to go ahead and hold the Float Stone here. It could come into play, could be important later on. But for right now, we'll just wait in case we have a reason to attach it to somewhere other than Garb. Well, other than Trubbish. We see our opponent play an Ultra Ball, discarding a Kirlia, and then getting their own Tapu Lele. So Tapu Lele comes down, Tapu Lele gets Brigette, and they're going to get themselves set up. So we'll probably see a couple of Ralts, and then maybe a Diancie, maybe a Remoraid. That works. I personally really like Diancie in the Gardevoir deck. We go ahead and play down everything, play down our whole hand, and then get our Sycamore out. There's nothing more for us to play, so we'll just retreat into our Choice Banded Koko and do a flying flip that does 50 to the active and 20 everywhere else. You could make an argument that we should have gone ahead and evolved the Garbodor there, but right now they may think that we're just playing the Garbotoxin variety, and if that's what they think, I want to hold that thought in their head. We get an in from our opponent after he field blowers off our tools. That's fine. This is a pretty good hand for us. So what do we see? Koko's not quite gonna get KO'd here, so that's good. we'll be able to do some more spread, and we might even Guzma. So what I'm thinking is we can Guzma and get the other Lele up, so that we can continue taking damage that way. We'll go ahead, play down the Choice again onto the same Koko, and again I'll play down the Float, and I think our next step is definitely going to be to play the Max Elixir and see if we hit. We do, so we'll go ahead and play it onto the Necrozma, getting Necrozma ready to go, and then I'm going to go ahead and make the Guzma play here. There's a little bit of a debate you could have about whether I should attach a DCE to Koko or attach something to Necrozma, but I think attaching to Necrozma is the better bet. And with having a full spread of Psychic attached to him, if he doesn't get KO'd after we use his GX attack, he'd then be able to take the final KO against Gardevoir. So having that still there is fine. Also, the reason that we didn't attach the DCE to Koko is because we want to have Necrozma prepped in the instance that our opponent ends us again. Not going to happen. We're going to get a Sycamore, but that's sort of the thought there. If we knew for sure we weren't going to get end, we probably could have attached both the band and the DCE to the other Koko on the bench and kept the one Koko alive. I see a Float come down from Tapu Lele. And my guess is that they're going to retreat into Gardevoir. But like I said, that's a guess. Ooh, we get a second Gardevoir coming out. Putting energy on the second Gardevoir. I would hope that he has Gardevoir already, but he might not. And I guess not. He's just going to attack. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put Koko in play. And what else? So we can attack with Koko, or we can attach some energy elsewhere. Here I'm debating a little bit whether we want to use our GX attack. We'll get 4 prizes KOing our both of the Leles if we do that, or we could spread a little bit more damage. That's a little too weak. I think we could take a KO on the Gardevoir. Because we hit 460 times 3, that's 180, plus 10 more for the base damage, so 190 is enough. So we could just take a KO and discard our energy, but if we do that, it's a little problematic. I go ahead and attach to Koko, and then we see another Necrozma come out, and that's like instant regret, because we would have much preferred to attach to Necrozma. To have a follow-up. Like the ideal play, I think, is to KO Gardevoir and then follow up with a Black Ray. So we're going to go ahead and use our GX here. I still think it's close, because it's really hard for our opponent to follow up if we had KO'd Gardevoir. But this puts us in a really good state in that lots and lots of avenues allow us to KO the remaining Gardevoir, as long as it stays in play. So we see a rare candy come down. We got off the prizes our Garbotoxins, so we could shut down abilities next turn. That could be good. We see Secret Spring attaching to the active, and I think one more attachment gets them the KO. they don't take it? Ah, well that's because they want this Gardevoir with a Choice Band. So I think at this point our best play is going to be to go ahead and do a little bit more spreading with Koko while we power up our next attacker. And I think our next real attacker is going to be the Wob. So he takes a KO, Gardevoir takes a KO on Necrozma, and then what do we do next? I think we promote Koko. We're probably going to attack with Koko. And we're going to go ahead and bench a few more things. So I want to leave the bench open. I decided, wait, did I really attach the Trubbish here? I think it's far better to attach to Wob. I know they've played a lot of items. Here I'm double checking what our discard looks like. I know they've played a lot of items, but I think that attaching to Wob paves the way for good things. I am going to go ahead and get Garbotoxin in play. And then I choose the Sycamore. I think the Sycamore is fine. We do have our Trashalanche ready now for next turn. What we really want though, we wanted to find our Espeon. And we definitely want to put the Max Elixir onto Wob. At least I did that part right. I do think it was a slight mistake because I don't think Trashalanche is going to do as much as we need. But I haven't checked their items to see if we can quite get there or not. And our opponent is thinking now. They're pretty clearly going to KO the Koko. And they're also going to remove all their items from play. This is another reason that we could have benched the Trubbish but attached to the Wob, because it wouldn't necessarily lead him to instantly get back all of his items. In the end, that's okay. And we're again left with the decision. Let me see. The Trashalanche will get us nothing, but we don't have much better to evolve the Trubbish into, so we might as well, I think, put it into play. There I'm counting energies, trying to decide if I need to attach now or if I can play the Sycamore. And I think play is to evolve here. We're going to want to attach the Float to Garbodor. And I think we could go with either energy to the Wob. I kind of like... I still think, because we do have the potential delay from Trashalanche there. Okay, we get Espeon. So, Espeon is our friend here. We will want to Max Elixir onto Espeon if we can. And I think thinning our deck first is quite appropriate. So we're going to Ultra Ball, and I think we get rid of... I think we can get rid of the... Probably go ahead and drop the Pokehound. Guzma is going to be useful. We'll pull Trubbish out and see that we have one Psychic Energy left in our deck. But as long as it's not the last card in the deck, we hit it with this Max Elixir. So we do hit it, and we will be able to take some KOs with Espeon and actually win the game from the... We take the active goes down to a Ralts and gets KO'd, and both Remoraid and the benched Kirlia also get KO'd. So we win, and it wasn't all that close really. We'll go ahead and jump straight into match number 2. Once again, we see Psychic, Fairy, and we see the Fist of Fighting type. So that means we're facing Gallade, unless it's a random list that for some reason text Sudowoodo, but probably a Gallade Gardevoir deck. And we lose the coin flip, our opponent is going first. Okay, this time we're going to start Necrozma, and our hand looks pretty bad. We really want something to come out of the mulligans. We get 3 of them this time. We'll just glance and see if our opponent reveals anything meaningful. Not really. And yes, all 3 mulligans, please. Okay, we get an N and an Ultra Ball, and the Garbotoxin. So all of these are useful. With the Ultra Ball, we'll probably just go ahead and get rid of the Garbotoxin Garb for this matchup. Though our opponent does get abilities, they aren't really clutch enough for us to really want to go ahead and care. So I think we get rid of Garbotoxin. We do see our opponent Brigetting up, so hopefully they fill up their field, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. We see a Cutie Fly. That's interesting. I see a second N drop down. And here, like I say, go ahead, Ultra Ball. Since we have 2 N's in hand, I think we can even drop one of them. And we'll go ahead and I went ahead. So you see, we were missing Lele. Both Lele's are prized. So we're just gonna grab a Koko. And this gets interesting real quick. We want to hit both of these, and we don't. Maybe we can hit 1. Okay, 1 is enough to get started. And then we'll attach 1 manually to the Koko. It's not ideal to have the energies on Koko. I'd rather have DCs and then have psychic energies on Necrozma, but you know, you do what you can. So we attach, and then we'll go ahead and play in. I don't want to drop 2 more psychic energies when we already don't have any Lele's in our deck, so I think this is definitely better. We would have liked to have gotten a Float Stone, but we didn't, and that's okay. We'll go ahead, click done. Wish we could have attacked, but we can't. And next turn, we'll definitely be pulling a Guzma. Start spreading some damage. Okay. So what does our opponent do? Let's find out. It's got some kind of tough decision. Okay, we see an evolution up to Kirlia. I'm not sure how helpful the Cutie Fly is, really. I know it can be nice in some ways, but I think that what we gain from Dancy being our random one-off is more than what we get from Cutie Fly. The 30 HP is nice for us in this matchup because we'll probably be able to take it out while we're just doing snipe damage. And here, I debated a little bit, decided to go ahead and attach a Psychic to Necrozma. That way we can decide later if we want to attach a DCE to Koko or the DCE to Necrozma to enable the GX attack. If we had attached the DCE to either one, it limits our options next turn. So this way we avoid that. And our opponent switches out into Lele. Thankfully, Lele will not be able to attack us. I mean, attack yes, KO no. And we do see the energy come down. Going back to the Rabombi thought, I don't feel like Gardevoir is a deck that tends to lack energy. So even once we evolve, once our opponent evolves up into Rabombi, getting 2 energy out every turn from the deck, yes, it's nice. But I feel like if you have Oranguru, that can sometimes be enough. Definitely having Octillery, you'll tend to get those energies out anyway. But maybe that's just me. Here I decide to go ahead, since we're only seeing Tapu Lele for now, we don't need to get the GX attack up yet. I think we rejoice in waiting. So here we'll get to Flying Flip once again, and we again have Lele set up to be KO'd with 1 GX attack. We're going to hold off on that until, and in fact we're just going to keep spreading until at least 1 Gardevoir comes out. Field Blower comes down, takes off our Choice Band and our Float Stone. That's sort of inconsequential, Choice Band part, because we're certainly getting KO'd this turn unless our opponent for some reason decides not to attack. We see an Ultra Ball and a Gardevoir GX. Two Gardevoir GXs. Probably going to evolve. Oh no, that's strange. I guess the third one here came out this turn. I was gonna say probably gonna go with the one that has no damage. I might even say that it would have been better to wait, unless we're gonna use lots of abilities, and clearly they don't have enough energy to make that necessary. So here we're definitely gonna promote a Koko. And then we're going to have to decide what we want to do. We see a Garbodor Trash Avalanche come down. I think we want to bench the Trubbish. And I think we want to attach the DCE. I'm a little torn, but I think it's worth it to go ahead and use our GX. I guess I decided to do 1 more spread first. And I guess this doing 1 more spread makes it so that the Gallade, when unevolved, will get KO'd as well, which could be pretty important. But part of me thinks this is a little too dangerous, because if they can get themselves a Guzma, then we're in trouble. I didn't want to Sycamore that turn, by the way, because I didn't want to lose the Garbo, the Trash Avalanche, and I didn't really want to lose the DC either. Thankfully our opponent just ends, so we don't have to worry about a Guzma play. Sort of expecting to see some more energy attachments here, but maybe not. We are pretty much exclusively promoting Necrozma now. Okay, we do see some energies come down. Secret Spring, attaching a Fairy Energy, so that both Gardevoirs have 2. And then retreating into the Gallade. Okay. And attaching a Choice Band to one of the Gardevoirs. Okay. I think the retreat into Gallade was a little bit silly. I think they lost energy on Lele when Lele's not safe. I guess they're figuring all I can do is KO a 1 prize attacker this way, but they're so wrong. So we promote Koko, but we know we're going to do more. We'll go ahead and put Wob in play, just in case we need him. And then I think we attach Float Stones, probably to Wob and to the Trubbish. There's that little part of me that would like one on Necrozma. I guess since we're going to promote him to attack, that's not bad. But having it on the Trubbish, the chances are pretty good that we're going to see Necrozma get KO'd. So having a Float Stone on him is a little bit silly. So we have Espeon here as well. And right now, if Espeon comes out, we will KO all of their Gardevoirs, like all of their Gardevoir lines, except for the one that has just 20 damage. And we also save our GX and our big powerful hit from Necrozma. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We used the Super Rod there to get the energy back into the deck so that we were more likely to hit the Elixir. And here we'll take 3 prizes as each of the Ralts rolls over. And then, assuming nothing changes, we can just Guzma next turn and take out Lele for the win. Our opponent's having to choose whether to promote Ralts or Lele. I think Ralts is probably the right call. We know they have Gardevoir in their hand, and they may well have... Oh, we didn't get a KO on Kirlia. I forgot that was manually evolved. Okay, so they're going to... Okay. Well, if I hadn't made that mistake, it might have been better to use our GX last turn. Because I was thinking that the energy would go out of play, and in fact, they still got plenty of energy. So yeah, definitely would have been better to use the GX attack last turn. We will go ahead and use it here, I think. Actually, no, it's better here. I think it's better to just go ahead and do a straight attack. We have the Float Stone out. If we just straight attack, he's left with having to fight to get another attacker ready. We'll get Garbodor up. They haven't had time to GX. And this could actually deal some good damage. So really, no matter what happens, we'll be able to probably KO whatever comes next. assuming we can get an energy. I guess theoretically the Ralts wouldn't get KO'd. Well, Trashalanche could. Wob could certainly KO Lele. So I think we're in good shape no matter what he decides to do. You see a Choice Band come down onto Lele. Does he have the rare candy to get another Gardevoir? We see another Lele come out. Is this going to be an into one? Yes it is. Okay. Get a fairy attachment to Lele. That's strange. And a Guzma play? Okay. Into one would have been kind of painful there. Does he realize that Lele can't attack? Okay. So I think we can attach here, and then we can use our own Lele. We don't have Guzma in the deck because we just got rid of it with the Ultra Ball. Okay. How do we want to do this then? Okay. So if he attaches the DCE to Lele, we don't really need a supporter. We don't want to end ourselves to 1, even though it ends him to 2. That might have been better, but we sort of want to be able to power up a follow-up attacker if possible. So we hit for 140. That doesn't quite get us there on this Lele, but I think unless he gets Gardevoir out next turn, we're guaranteed to be able to take our last prizes next turn. If he gets a DCE onto Lele, he's still only hitting for 80. If you can get DCE and Fairy Energy and Gardevoir, then okay, so he's just trying to stall. What's funny about that is, I mean, I guess eventually he'll be able to evolve to Gardevoir, but we have more cards left than he does, so he's not gonna like stall us out. And of course, knowing our hand, we can just attach a DCE, retreat, and go from there. Clearly 140 is enough to KO this Lele. I'm kind of surprised he didn't bring up his uninjured Lele, if this is what he's going to try to do. Certainly, if you're trying to stall, you want to give your opponent no avenues to KO your Pokemon. And that was not what he did. So, if he ever clicks done, alrighty, well this we can make nice and fast. We will just attach and then retreat. And okay, I was slower there than I should have been. And Trashalanche for victory. That was all because our opponent was unable to GX, which is kind of nice that worked out that way. I do think there are some decisions there that could have gone a different way if we had waited on doing our de-evolutions because of that Kirlia being in play. We could have GX'd first, and that would have made the game much faster to win. Alternatively, there were points that we could have done a straight KO with our Necrozma. I think that was in the first game. That might have worked out better as well. But you can see even making potentially suboptimal decisions. It's a really strong deck, especially in this type of matchup. With that, we will wrap up for the day. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.